What are some of the federal statutes that come into play in wrap transactions?
So that's a big question. I'll tell you what they
Okay.
are. We can't drill down. So I'll do it in order of time. We got the
Yeah.
SAFE Act, Federal SAFE Act that started
Right.
out. It kind of said, hey, if you're doing more than three of these, it said more than, three of these things. Let's go ahead and use a residential mortgage loan originator.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a company that comes in and determines credit worthiness of your borrower. Just make sure that they're able to repay the loan. Then in Texas, next came the T-SAFE Act, which was a little bit more restrictive. And then the Dodd-Frank Act, the famous Dodd-Frank Act came in. And dear Lord, we were all in uproar and scared about that thing back in, I think it started January 2015, and it became kind of a dud. And then here in Texas, we had some new legislation January 1 of this year called Senate Bill 43, and it came in and it put some teeth in what the SAFE Act was trying to do. And so while it was suggested you use a RMLO, residential mortgage loan originator, this new legislation came in and said you will be using an RMLO after your third one. If you don't, then borrower has right of rescission, can get damages. So it's toothy now.
So well, I shouldn't say obviously, generally, if you have a seller who's listed their property for sale or, just looking to unload the property, maybe an estate or trustee of a trust, they can, under both federal and it sounds like Texas law, they could do it without a loan originator because they're only doing, one every 12 months or something like that. But it does sound like mortgage loan originators need to be involved if an investor, as part of their disposition strategy, is then going to do their own seller carry with a wrap. What does a closing look like once a mortgage loan originator is involved in that? And are there mortgage loan originators in Texas who, kind of specialize in, handling these seller carryback transactions?
So the closing looks substantially the same. We're just going to have some documentation from the RMLO in regard to it's called a confirming ability to repay and getting the 1003 and all of those items. So it's going to look more like a conventional mortgage, but for us, substantively still the same type of closing. And then there are some RMLOs who are more familiar with providing the services for a seller finance transaction. In terms of specializing, well, I guess I'll give those people, yes, they're specializing in that just because they understand what's going on more. Sometimes we'll get an RMLO that doesn't understand this. They're saying, hey, you can't use the old HUD settlement statement. You need to use this closing disclosure, and you don't have to, but we go along with them.